Hello and welcome to this show, This Date in History, also known as TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred to date in years past, both recognized by actual historians, but mainly things that we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information comes from the smart device application, Today in History, What Happened Today in History, a historical calendar, and the website onthisday.com. For links to those sources, the music, and anything else we gather throughout the show that may or may not be potentially interesting, check the underbar in the description below. Anyway, I am Xander, and I am joined off-screen by our resident boomer professional. Like, what's history to us was just life for him.
A good life, I might add.
Yes. He is known as the Golden Loon. Anyway, today is Sun's Day, also known as Sunday, June 5th, 2022. Starting us off in the year 1257, Krakow in Poland received city rights. Cool. 1283, during the Battle of the Gulf of Naples, Roger of Lauria, admiral to King Peter III of Aragon, destroyed the Neapolitan fleet and captured Charles of Salerno. What happened to all the ice cream?
Well, did they have electricity to freeze it? I'm not sure.
I mean, they might have had ice boxes.
Could have.
Yeah. Jumping on up into 1610, a significant time jump, the Mask Tethys Festival was performed at Whitehall Palace to celebrate the investiture of Henry Frederick, Prince of Wales. Investiture. So
Killed that word.
Well, like you try to pronounce it.
No
That's
way.
different.
No way.
Investiture is the action of formally investing a person with honors or rank, or a ceremony at which honors or rank are formally conferred on a particular person. Interesting. I'm going to add this to the underbar, just because there's actually a decent amount of things to read here. So, yeah. See, underbar. Where is the underbar? There is the underbar.
Does that bar serve drinks?
No, it's not a full liquor bar, unfortunately.
If not it did, going there then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I have cola here. I mean, Jumping up into 1644, the Qing Dynasty Manchu forces led by the Shunzi Emperor took Beijing during the collapse of the Ming Dynasty. Beijing has been involved in so many wars, many things.
The history of that country is incredible.
Yeah.
As far as always battling.
Yeah, well, now they're trying to battle the world, and I don't know who's going to win. Anyway,
big question mark.
Yep, 1798, during the Battle of New Ross, the attempt to spread the United Irish Rebellion into Munster was defeated. Munster, that's a type of cheese. Oh god, here we go. 1829, HMS Pickle captured the armed slave ship Voladora off the coast of Cuba. Dang.
What date was that again?
1829, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Civil War happened in 1860 something, 61 through 65. So
a little earlier than that, I think.
No.
It ended in 64?
5.
Okay.
It started in 60 or 61, I believe.
Okay.
Actually, I can look it up right now. We have the technology. U.S. Civil War. 1861 through 1865.
Wow, you nailed it right on.
Well, I mean, I am a historian. It's kind of my
that.
thing. And we've talked about the Civil War quite a bit. I mean, we're in the 6th month.
Yeah.
So we've been doing this almost like we've only missed one day of the show in 6 months.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was February 1st.
That's better than your school attendance back in the day.
Well, this show is actually worth it. I'm actually learning things,
Carrying on.
Yeah, anyway, moving on up into 1837, Houston was incorporated by the Republic of Texas. Nice.
Yep.
Named after Samuel Houston?
Yep.
1849, Denmark became a constitutional monarchy by the signing of a new constitution. All right. So 2 years later, in 1851, Harriet Beecher Stowe's anti-slavery serial, Uncle Tom's Cabin, or Life Among the Lowly, started a 10-month run in the National Era abolitionist newspaper. And then these are some words and terms that I don't even feel comfortable saying, even though the subject matter, you know. But
yeah.
So
Uncle Tom's
Cabin.
That had nothing to do with what's his face that wrote. I can't think of it. Never mind.
Malcolm X.
No, no. Malcolm X wasn't around in 1851.
Oh, true. Anyway, 1862, as the Treaty of Saigon was signed, ceding parts of southern Vietnam to France, the guerrilla leader Thierry Dinh decided to defy Emperor Tu Duc of Vietnam and fight on against the Europeans. So dang. So if you put that into account, then the Vietnam War is a century old.
Well, good point. Well, yeah.
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 They were fighting for well over 100 years, because that went on into the 70s.
Well, the French dumped it on us.
Well, we decided to take it in because of politics. Oh, the communists. Let's fight the communists.
Of course.
And look at how well that worked.
Now we're looking to Vietnam to bail us out of China.
Yeah, Apple, I told you yesterday, Apple moved out of China to Vietnam.
More and more people are
Amazon is moving. Yeah,
Yeah.
good. Like, now I'm just wondering, like, because as I say, culturally, they all hate each other. They all, I've told you about that. I've talked about that on the show before. 50 years from now, are we going to be fighting Vietnam like we're fighting China? Are we going to build them up only to realize that, no, they're not going to be our friends once they're powerful enough. They'll kick us to the curb.
Who knows? In 100 years, will Europe even be our friend? We don't know.
Will we even be around? Well,
yeah. Will we exist?
Anyway, speaking of existing, in 1864, during the Civil War, during the Battle of Piedmont, Union forces under General David Hunter defeated a Confederate army at Piedmont, Virginia, taking nearly 1,000 prisoners. Dang.
Jeez, that's a lot.
Yeah, dude, there's so many large numbers in here. There's a lot of, there was, an earthquake that killed, 840,000 people or something. Yeah.
Are you talking still about the Civil War?
No.
Okay.
Just like an earthquake in the 1700s or something. Or something it killed 800 something thousand people. That was
in this
China.
country?
No, in China. That's the most deadliest earthquake in recorded history.
Really?
Yeah, but there's earthquakes, and other things 5,000 people died here, 7,000 people died here, 20,000 people died. It's Jesus Christ, these numbers,
Yeah. Yeah. Mother Nature is the most powerful.
Whew, yeah. Now we harness it.
Try to.
Well, I don't know. Anyway, in 1873, Sultan Bargash bin Said of Zanzibar, you try to pronounce that,
no way,
closed the Great Slave Market under the terms of a treaty with Great Britain. Look at that.
Why do you think I'm not on screen? Because you'll try to nail me with stuff like that to read. No way.
Well, no, you can read it if you want.
No, I don't want.
In 1883, the first regularly scheduled Orient Express departed Paris. Nice.
Orient Express, huh?
Yeah, the mystery at the Orient Express. 10 years later, in 1893, the trial of Lizzie Borden for the murder of her father and stepmother began in New Bedford, Massachusetts.
You know the old saying, Lizzie Borden took an axe, gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw what she was done, she gave her father 41.
I've heard that. I didn't remember it. I'm kind of concerned why that's on your mind.
Hey, you brought up dear Lizzie,
Maybe I should hide my machete.
Quickly.
In 1916, Louis Brandeis was sworn in as a Justice of the United States Supreme Court. He was the first U.S. Jew to hold such a position. Okay. Also in 1916, during the First World War, the Arab revolt against the Ottoman Empire broke out. See, I told you the Ottomans were in World War I. Yeah, see,
I didn't realize.
History is crazy.
That, yes.
History is crazy. Some things that seem closer are actually farther away, and some things that seem farther away are actually closer. You think of these empires and everything. You think of the 1600s, 1500s.
Yeah.
No, I mean the British Empire lasted until 1950, maybe even still going on. The U.S. Empire is a thing today.
Well, we're the newbie on the block for now.
Well, we're also the largest one ever, in the history of the world. We have bases all over the place. So, for now, until China comes. Anyway, moving on into 1940, going from World War I to World War II, after a brief lull in the Battle of France, the Germans renewed the offensive against the remaining French divisions south of the River Somme in Operation Fall Rot, or Case Red. Yeah, the fall of France. 2 years later, also during the Second World War, the United States declared war on Bulgaria, Hungary, and Romania. Because, they were part of the Axis and everything.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yep. 2 years later, again in 1944, also during World War II, more than 1,000 British bombers dropped 5,000 tons of bombs on German gun batteries on the Normandy coast in preparation for D-Day.
how much again?
5,000 tons, which is 10,000 pounds. Yeah.
Just getting ready.
Yeah. Now, like, fun fact about Operation Overlord, D-Day, the invasion of France, it was supposed to happen today, on the 5th. But as I said 2 days ago on the show, due to bad weather conditions and everything, Eisenhower postponed it. And then they actually got, like, hey, we might have a small window on the 6th, tomorrow.
Right.
So they're, like, literally with less than 24 hours, they're just like, go for it.
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
It opened up.
Yeah. They went on a hunch. They could have all been lost at sea. It could have been a squall, Like,
it's hard to imagine when you've seen a movie like Private Ryan when they try to make it so realistic.
Well,
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
They open the front gate to drop you out into the water,
And then immediately
half of them are dead.
Yeah.
Moving on. Quick.
Yeah.
Let's drop there.
Moving on into 1945, the Allied Control Council, the military occupation governing body of Germany, formally took power. 365 days later, in 1946, a fire in the La Salle Hotel in Chicago, Illinois, killed 61 people.
Chicago, huh?
Chicago is actually a word. The local Native American, it stood for like stinky or smelly or something.
Oh, really?
Because it used to be a bog, and it was all smelly, and it was horrible. And
I didn't know
so
that.
the
Fun
city
fact.
is literally called like the city of ass smell or something like that. Yeah. In Native American tongue, yeah. One more year later, 1947, during the Cold War, you remember this, the Marshall Plan, in a speech at Harvard University, the United States Secretary of State George Marshall called for an economic aid to war-torn Europe.
Don't remember it, but...
Well, you remember the time.
No. My memory is very vague at that age. I wasn't even walking.
You somehow I'm trying to mess with you, and then you just go to that level, and it's a weapon. When you mess with yourself more than others can mess with you, there's nothing somebody can do to you. Smart. With age does come wisdom.
Just move on.
1949, Thailand elected Orapan Chayakan, the first female member to Thailand's parliament. Nice. 7 years later, 1956, Elvis Presley introduced his new single, Hound Dog,
Oh, I remember
on
that.
the Milton
Big time.
Berle show, scandalizing the audience with his suggestive hit movements.
Yeah. Oh, that was a biggie. That was really through his whole younger music career.
Yeah.
It was a biggie, yeah. Elvis the Pelvis, they nicknamed
Elvis the Pelvis.
Yeah, they nicknamed him that.
Well, parents are nothing but hound dogs, just crying all the time.
Oh, boo. Move on, please.
1959, the first government of Singapore was sworn in. Interesting. 1960, the Lake Bodom murders occurred in Finland. All right. 3 years later, 1963, the British Secretary of State of War, John Profumo, resigned in a sex scandal known as the Profumo Affair. So, all this going after politicians for sex stuff did not start with...
No, that's
what's his face? I don't know.
it's actually been going on for forever. It's just when did they start doing something about it?
Yeah. Well, now they're going after presidents just for anything to... Because, as we were talking earlier, Tim Pool, I'm not sure if it was on one of the episodes I showed you, but they were talking about, the kids these days, they're growing up in an environment where you can, just get rid of anybody you don't like, including a president,
Yeah, that's true.
So...
And as this generation mind, the next generation after that, as we age out, this is going to be what it's all about. It's a scary thought.
It's frightening. It's terrifying. What world did you leave me? Thank you, Boomer. Boomer!
Should be Bummer.
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 What game was that?
Chips Challenge.
Oh, God, yes. Man, that goes back many years.
Yeah. Remember when I used to always restart? I was a stupid kid. I just wanted to play the first level.
Yeah.
You're at level 875. It's just restart. God, I was a brat. Anyway, also in 1963, during the movement of 15 Khordad, protest against the arrest of Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini by the Shah of Iran, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, in several cities, masses of angry demonstrators were confronted by tanks and paratroopers. What, are they dropping soldiers onto the field now or something? Like, why are paratroopers
I
there?
don't get that. The names were so...
Well, it's Iran.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
1 year later, 1964, DSV Alvin was commissioned.
I don't know what that is.
I think that's that submarine. Let me check that out. The Alvin. DSV Alvin. Yep, it is.
What country?
I believe us. Let me check. Builder, General Mills Electronics Group. Owner, United States Navy.
Okay, what's the importance of note of that type of submarine?
It's an incredibly useful research submarine.
Ah, okay.
Like,
Okay.
it looks like it has part of it
Oh, look at
can
that.
pop
Yeah.
off, like emergency
probably
separation.
For deep diving.
Yeah.
Really deep
Yeah.
diving. Okay.
No, I remember, like, when I was a kid, I was studying submarines, and there was this Alvin, and in 2014 overhaul, they're still using it.
Jeez.
As of early 2021, Alvin is in active service with the Woods Hole Oceanic Institute. The research ship RV Atlantis serves as her support ship.
Jeez, that's rare to have something in use that long.
No, not necessarily. I mean, there's that howitzer that's on our gunship. Like the giant plane that goes around. Mm-hmm. It's the same howitzer they used in World War II. Once you peak with a certain technology, there's nothing really more you can do with it.
I don't like the word peak and technology put together.
Well, facts are facts.
Go for it.
I mean, can you make toilet paper any better?
Well,
We peaked the technology.
it's lucky we have toilet paper anymore.
Yeah. Well, after a couple years ago, with what's looming on the floor, I never imagined I would send toilet paper, through the mail to a family member. That was just
That
wild.
amazing, yeah.
That was wild,
Yeah. Hey, we were buying it at restaurants. They're selling toilet
Yeah.
paper on the side
Yeah.
just to stay open.
Yeah. Well, not just that, but they were giving back to the community. That's what they.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, I mean,
and staying open and allowing them to stay open.
well, I mean, people were still buying food, Grubhub and Postmates and all that stuff.
Yeah, but they weren't going to restaurants.
No, but they were ordering out.
Yeah, true.
So.
But enough to sustain their.
But they
overhead and
couldn't.
everything.
No, but they couldn't go out because of the lockdown.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So-
So that's killing the restaurant. So they had to figure out other ways.
But see, if nobody's-
and give back to the.
But if
so it's a
nobody's
plus.
if nobody's going to the restaurants, then who's buying the toilet paper?
Well, everybody has to crap.
But
You're
nobody
eating food.
goes to a restaurant to buy toilet paper. Like,
Well, as soon as you heard about it, are you kidding? Well, you
Yeah.
were a Grubhub. So,
yeah, well,
or
because
whatever, one of them.
I was one of the only types of people to even be allowed to go out.
I know.
So
you were.
yeah,
you
no,
were working
I mean,
90
it
days.
was for profit, but I mean, there is,
Well, it was a plus. They made some
Yeah.
money to keep the doors open.
yes.
Pay their overhead.
Yeah.
And it gives back to the community.
Yeah.
So everybody wins. It's a good thing.
I'm not saying they weren't doing it for
Okay,
profit. I'm
move
saying,
on.
okay. Anyway, 1967, the Six-Day War began. Israel launched surprise attacks
I
against
remember
Egyptian
that, big
airfields
time.
in response to the mobilization of Egyptian forces on the Israeli border.
Oh, I remember that big time. Yeah.
See, here we go.
That's
Like,
huge.
Israel, they're always saying they're defending, but they're always offending. They're...
We're going to disagree there.
no,
they're under attack.
I'm the
all
historian, so... Anyway, 1968, presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy was assassinated by Sirhan Sirhan.
time. Yep.
Dang.
Yep. That was another biggie.
1975, the Suez Canal opened for the first time since the Six-Day War. And speaking of Israel, they, were forced by the UN to relinquish the Suez Canal after all that. Israel is very aggressive. Don't buy into, they're always under attack. That's all crap. They're very aggressive. I mean, they're...
Well, I'll give you the aggressive part, and I don't know what dimension you're taking that to, but, but they are under attack all the time.
they're also attacking.
Launching rockets, and neither one of us know the depth of all the politics over in that part of the country. But, so probably just leave it at that. But you can't say, oh, boo-hoo, all bad Israel.
I'm not saying it's all bad Israel, but Israel's not doing anything to make themselves look any better. That's why I'm saying. You can't sit there and shoot your neighbor and be like, oh, my neighbor's shooting me. So, well, you shot them. What do you want?
What would we do if somebody in Mexico decided to launch rockets into our country? We go in and annihilate it, right?
Probably not.
You don't think so?
No. I mean, remember the drug cartels? They work hand in hand with the CIA and everything. They won't do anything.
Well, they did gun trafficking.
Yeah, don't forget Operation Fast and Furious.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, I got that. But no, I'm talking about someone physically coming in, maybe from the Middle East or something, setting up a culture group or whatever, and they start rocketing.
They were already doing
hitting
that.
LA and everything else. Are you kidding me? We just didn't turn around and annihilate it.
After our good old president left, how many hundreds of billions of dollars of military equipment in Afghanistan?
But he wants to take our guns away.
Yeah, because
He left billions of guns for the Taliban.
Yeah.
Billions of dollars of
Anyway,
high-tech.
moving
let's
on,
move
also in 1975, the United Kingdom held its first countrywide referendum on membership of the European Economic Community, the EEC. 1 year later, in 1976, the Teton Dam in Idaho, United States, collapsed. 11 people were killed as a result of the flooding. 5 years later, in 1981, the Morbidity and Mortality Weekly Report of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports that 5 people in Los Angeles, California, have a rare form of pneumonia seen only in patients with weakened immune systems, in what turns out to be the first recognized cases of AIDS. Well, I guess you can thank California for AIDS too. Thank you, California.
That was a scary disease.
Yeah. 1983, more than 100 people were killed when the Russian river cruise ship Alexander Suvorov collided with a girder of the Ulyanovsk railway bridge. You pronounce that.
Say it again one more time for me. I just want to get some grins.
Ulyanovsk railway bridge. The collision caused a freight train to derail, further damaging the vessel, yet the ship remained afloat and was eventually restored and returned to service. 365 days later, in 1984, Operation Blue Star saw, under the orders from India's Prime Minister, Indira Gandhi, the Indian Army began an invasion of the Golden Temple, the holiest site of the Sikh religion. That's not good. Government entities invading religious sectors? Not good. 5 years later, in 1989, the Tank Man halts the progress of a column of advancing tanks for over half an hour at the Tiananmen Square protests of 1989.
Tiananmen Square. You know,
Yep.
everybody sees that. There's a good question for you. Do you remember the photograph of Tiananmen Square? The guy stopping the tank?
Let's see
It's
here.
very recognizable. You show that to anybody, especially my age, or even
Let's see here. Where
even
is this?
40 years old. And probably you should too. If you see it, you'll recognize it.
I know. I'm trying to find it. I have it. Where'd I put it? Why can't I find it? I found
It's
it
okay.
yesterday.
No need.
No, there is a need.
The point being, you take that photo to China, nobody will know what it is. Not a person there will know what it is.
Not only that, but you'll be arrested immediately and probably just shot in the street, honestly.
But they tuck that away, and that's the power of the country. They don't want you. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows that picture.
Yeah.
You show me that Tiananmen Square, of course. Nobody knows that in China? Are you kidding me?
Yep. And pretty soon we're going to be like that. I mean,
And, you know, we don't really know the full story of it. Thousands of students, tens of thousands, were killed.
Yeah, no,
Shot
I've
down,
been
put
reporting
down.
the past couple of days.
Good
I've been
for you.
reporting on things about that.
Good for you.
Well, yeah. Anyway, 1993, portions of the Holbeck Hall Hotel in Scarborough, North Yorkshire, United Kingdom, fell into the sea following a landslide. Dang. 1995, hold on a sec. Oh, pardon me.
Bless you.
1995, the Bose-Einstein contest. Oi,
Bless you again.
allergies.
Now, do you know why bless you is a thing?
Yes.
Why?
Because they believe that your heart stopped or something when you sneezed.
Skips a beat, yeah.
Well, it skips a beat scientifically, but back in the
Stops and starts, yeah.
no, back in the day, they actually thought like you sneezed and your heart stopped permanently.
Oh.
And they say bless you to be like God may He bless your soul. Start His heart again. And then it turned into an actual science because back in the 1700s we didn't know about cardiology and all that stuff.
Only you would have more of an answer than I had for that. Move on.
Well, I mean, 1997, the Second Republic of the Congo Civil War began. 1998, a strike began at the General Motors Parts factory in Flint, Michigan. We know that city.
Yeah.
That quickly spread to 5 other assembly plants. The strike lasts 7 weeks. Dang.
I have a vague memory of that strike. It was really big news. Just the longevity of it,
Well, yeah.
how it shut everything down.
Yeah. Moving on to the next millennium, in the year 2000, the Six-Day War in Kisangani began in Kisangani in the Democratic Republic of the Congo between Ugandan and Rwandan forces. A large part of the city was destroyed.
You know, I don't know enough of this part of the world's history. It's a shame on me.
I don't either. Well, I mean, like, you think about all the history, that's a big pie.
Oh,
history is a big pie. Big. I mean, like, I was thinking about this the other day, like, like, if we do get, start doing, like, other, spin-off shows of, particular things, like, the military history, art history, culture history. I'm more of like a general historian with a taste in military history, especially World War II. But history is one of the subjects, in all of society that's probably, like, one of the largest things that we have,
Yeah.
Because, like, like, it's never ending. Archaeology, that's just physical history. You're uncovering things that we don't even know.
That's the written word of the earth.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on up into 2001, Tropical Storm Allison made landfall on the upper Texas coastline as a strong tropical storm and dumped large amounts of rain over Houston. The storm caused $5.5 billion in damages, making Allison the second costliest tropical storm in U.S. history.
Jeez.
You want to know one of my favorite hurricane jokes?
I can't wait.
The reason why hurricanes are named after women is because they come in hard, fast, and wet, and then you're left with nothing and your house is gone.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Moving on, please. Please.
2003, a severe heat wave across Pakistan and India reached its peak as temperatures exceeded 50 degrees Celsius or 122 degrees Fahrenheit in the region.
Ooh.
Yeah. Although I heard, like, the hottest place in the world, our Death Valley, once again, California, the center for hell, can get up to 140.
Yeah, you can fry an egg.
Yeah.
On the sidewalk.
Well, no, like, you can do that in the city now. Like, fry an egg is like, what, 110, 115. So, but yeah, of course you can bake cookies. There's a video of somebody baking cookies in their car, Crazy. 2004, Noel Mameri, mayor of Begles, celebrated marriage for two men for the first time in France. Wow. Oh, those.
I call that bagels.
Okay. 2006, Serbia declared independence from the State Union of Serbia and Montenegro. All right. 3 years later, in 2009, after 65 straight days of civil disobedience, at least 31 people were killed in clashes between security forces and indigenous people near Bagua, Peru. 2015, an earthquake with a moment magnitude of 6.0 struck Rando, Sabah, Malaysia, killing 18 people, including hikers and mountain guides on Mount Kinabalu, after mass landslides that occurred during the earthquake. This is the strongest earthquake to strike Malaysia since 1975. Dang.
6.0, biggie.
Yeah, well, I reported on like 8s, 9s, Yeah. 2017, Montenegro became the 29th member of NATO. Where is Montenegro?
I don't know. It's a good question.
It's part of NATO. I'd expect it to be in Africa. No, it's in the Balkans. Okay.
It had to be down there somewhere, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here on maps. Montenegro. Oh, it's over by Italy. Okay.
Where is it? Oh, right there.
Right there. There's a little red line right here.
Yeah.
All right. And 2007 as well, 6 Arab countries, Bahrain, Egypt, Libya, and Saudi Arabia, Yemen, and the UAE, United Arab Emirates, cut diplomatic ties with Qatar, accusing it of destabilizing the region.
They're still trying to.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're all trying to destabilize themselves. I mean, Saudi Arabia ain't our friends. So.
Well, they are, but, they are. Yeah. Kind of both. I'd say they're more our friend than not.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, before we get into burst and deaths, any articles grab your attention?
Not one in particular, but just stuff that I've surprised in the later dates that I hadn't heard of. Mm-hmm. And of course, all the ones that I have heard of that were just major points in your life that you remember. Assassinations, things like that. Yeah. So other than that, that's the biggest standout to me.
Yeah. The Tank Man, of course.
Yeah.
And then, the first recognized case of AIDS.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Or the Kennedy assassination, that was
huge. Yeah. Robert F. Kennedy, not John F. Kennedy.
No, John's huge too. It's not today, but that's even bigger.
Well, yeah.
That was just stunning.
Anyway, moving on in the burst, starting us off in 1341, we have Edmund of Langley, 1st Duke of York. He was son of King Edward III of England and Lord Warden of the Cinque Ports, dying in 1402. 1801, William Scamp, an English architect and engineer, dying in 1874. What a name, Scamp. What a scamp.
Whenever you ever scampered.
See, you get my comedy.
Probably the only one that does.
Actually, no, surprisingly. There's
That doesn't surprise me all.
A few of us out there, actually. 1819, John Couch Adams. Man, Couch, what a name. Was an English mathematician and astronomer, dying in 1892. 1868, James Connolly, Scottish-born Irish rebel leader. That's interesting. Dying in 1916. A Scottish-born Irish rebel. He's fighting for somebody else.
You're right.
Yeah. 1878, Pancho Villa, we remember him.
Good old Pancho Villa.
Mexican general and politician who was a governor of Chihuahua, dying in 1923.
Wait, is that where the dog name comes from?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. They named
it.
Yeah.
Why, how else would you get Chihuahua?
Yeah, no, the breed of dog is named, it's a Mexican breed.
Yeah.
It's named after, that city or region or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Chihuahua.
Yeah.
So
obviously a Mexican dog. Okay, go on.
That sounded mildly racist. Like, what is
the name? Chihuahua. He's not going to come from Canada.
You don't know that. You know that there's a city called Swastika in Canada?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, now you do.
That's sad.
Yeah, and there's a Paris in Texas.
So, what?
Paris.
That I know.
Yeah.
There's a Paris in California too.
Yeah. There's Venice in California, Venice Beach.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, no,
it has canals and everything.
Well, no, but it's modeled after Venice in Italy.
That's why it has canals.
Yeah.
They weren't natural; they were man-made. Moving on.
1892, Jan Kickass, an Estonian weightlifter.
Kickass?
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 Kickass.
You're kidding me.
No, Kickass.
A
weightlifter named Kickass.
Oh, come on. Someone made that up.
No! I can look it up right now.
That's okay. Move on, please.
He died in 1944.
This was going so well. What happened?
Well, that's why you don't remember him. He died a year before you were born. 1894, Roy Thomson, 1st Baron Thomson of Fleet, was a Canadian English publisher and academic, dying in 1976. 1898.
He's an academic.
Yeah, well, academic is how we pronounce it on the show because that's how Muffin did it. So now we just go.
Where the hell's Muffin? We need him.
He's in Italy.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Is he staying?
I told him to stay. I'm like, hey, now that you're over there, don't come back. I seriously told him that. I'm like, don't come back. It ain't worth it. Just stay there, find a job, and pray. You're out of the States. You're lucky. Stay out. Anyway, 1898, Salvador Ferragamo, Italian shoe designer who founded Salvador Ferragamo SPA, dying in 1960. Do you know what SPA would stand for?
No clue.
Okay. 1899, Otis Barton was born on the States. He was an American driver, engineer, and actor who designed the bathysphere, dying in 1992. So that's interesting. The bathysphere is like that, like the divers, they go down.
Okay, yes.
Like,
okay, now I'm with you.
My cousin, was going to be in one of those, the deep sea diving.
Yes.
This guy designed those.
And then
he died in 1992. We were alive. See, this is what's crazy with history. That seems like such old technology, but it's more recent than you think.
Yeah.
Anyway, 1915, Lancelot Ware was an English barista and biochemist who co-founded Mensa, dying in 2000. In the year 1919, Richard Scaary, you know that name, U.S. Swiss author and illustrator, dying in 1994. Remember he did all of my children's books, the cityscape, like that worm driving an apple.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't connect that name.
Richard Scaary.
Yes.
Images.
That's scary. I didn't remember.
Yeah, remember this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
This was Richard Scaary. Yeah, the worm guy.
Of course I should have remembered that.
Yeah.
And I'll say it again. That was scary. I don't remember.
Well, par for the course. 1923, Daniel Pinkham was born on the States. He was a U.S. organist and composer, dying in 2006. Pinkham. You know, put him back in the oven. He ain't done. You know?
Oh, move on. Give the man some respect, please.
1932, Dave Gold was a U.S. businessman who founded the 99 cents only stores, dying in 2013. 1941, Spalding Gray was a U.S. writer, actor, and monologist, dying in 2004. What is a monologist? Like a moneyologist or something? The speaker or writer of a monologue. Oh, a monologist. Okay. Oh. Yeah, it is a solo artist who recites or gives dramatic readings from a monologue, soliloquy, poetry, or work of literature for the entertainment of an audience. Heading that into the underbar.
Vincent Price, I saw do a one-man show up in San Francisco once. It was awesome. So he would have been a monologist. Monologist,
yeah.
Thank you.
1942, we have Teodoro Obiang Nguema Mbasogo, an Equatorial lieutenant and politician who is the second president of Equatorial Guinea. I didn't even know that was a word, but okay.
Wow, some of these names. Yeah.
1943, Abraham Viruthakulangara, Roman Catholic Archbishop of Nagpur, Maharashtra, India, dying in 2018. 1946, Patrick Head, thank God his name wasn't Richard, English engineer and businessman who co-founded Williams F1.
Pat Head, no, that's not good either.
Pat Head, huh?
Yeah, I know.
1953, Kathleen Kennedy, U.S. film producer who co-founded Amblin Entertainment and drove Star Wars into the ground. She was the person that Disney made in charge of all the Disney Star Wars crap. Oh. So she was the final say in everything that we saw. So she's why we got the blue milk scene. She's why we got the, oh, I'm a woman, hear me roar. I'm not, whatever, during the second one when they were all in the ships just running away.
Okay.
All because girl power, 1956, Kenny G.
Hey, Kenny G.
U.S. saxophonist, songwriter, and producer.
Yeah.
My mom loved his songs.
Yeah.
Here we go. 1959, Ahmed Abdallah Muhammad Sambi.
Very good. You aced that one. Nice.
Yeah. Almost. I screwed up on the last one.
Yeah.
Sambi.
Easiest one.
Yeah. Go figure, right? It was like like that time I did that Mayan name, whatever I was like. One of those words you have to like stop your throat, like instead of phlegm you take phlegm away, like there's Ahmed and then there's
I've never heard of take it back.
Yeah, you have to swallow the phlegm,
Okay, what about Sambi?
This guy, he was a Comoran businessman and politician who was a president of Comoros. 1961, Anthony Berger, a U.S. singer and pianist, dying in 2006. Yeah, Berger, delicious.
Yeah.
1962, Jeff Garlin. Hopefully he's not on the banister. Garlin on the banister.
Oh,
U.S. actor, comedian, director, and screenwriter. But you hate the Garlin.
Relation to Judy?
Judy Garland?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let me check. Jeff Garland. I was thinking like daughter Judy. Da, 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 da. I'm not seeing Judy Garland.
Brother.
Well, siblings Michael Garland.
Yeah, no.
So I'm not finding anything.
Yeah, the Garland's pretty common.
1969, we have Brian McKnight, a U.S. singer, songwriter, producer, and actor. 1971, Mark Wahlberg. U.S. model, actor, producer, and rapper. He Wahlburgers, right?
Yeah.
Rapper. Was he a co-founder, or worker, or?
No. He set it up with his brothers.
And rapper who co-founded Wahlburgers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. 1979, Pete Wentz. Where'd he go?
Whence did he move?
Yeah. He is a U.S. singer, songwriter, bass player, actor, and fashion designer. Pardon me. Oh, it's talking. Usually I have a...
What do you mean all this talking? That's what you're hired to do, is talk.
Yeah, but I need to hydrate. I'm not trained for a filibuster, which, by the way, the longest filibuster lasted for like over 24 hours or something. Could you imagine standing and just talking nonstop for over 24 hours? Fuck that?
There was a movie about that. It was Henry Ford
Oh.
back in the day, probably 40s somewhere in there. 40s, 50s.
Ford. And then last but not least, 1995, we have Troye Sivan. He is an African-born Australian singer, songwriter, actor, and YouTuber. Moving on in the deaths, starting in 801, we have Sima Lun, was a Chinese emperor, born in 249. 535, we have Epiphanes, I think, Patriarch of Constantinople. Like, I just had an epiphany. That's how, you pronounce his name, Epiphanes. Epiphany.
Epiphany.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what an epiphany is?
Yeah, yes, of course.
Yeah. Did it hurt? Birth was unknown. 567, Theodosius I, Patriarch of Alexandria. Birth was also unknown. I'm going to start putting in the birth unknown peoples because,
Yeah.
I don't get to mention them in the birth section.
No.
So this is their only mention the whole year.
Yeah, if they're worth mentioning, they're worth mentioning.
Yeah. 754, Eoban, a bishop of Utrecht. Birth unknown. 754, Boniface, English missionary and martyr. Birth 675. 928, Louis the Blind, King of Provence, birth unknown. Now see, this brings up something that's really interesting. My Saudi Arabian uncle?
Yes.
Nobody knew his birthday, remember? Like, they
That's right.
didn't record
They
it.
just estimated it.
Because, so even to this day, there's some cultures and places in the world that don't record your birth.
I don't know if it's still currently, but probably in different areas, I'm sure.
Yeah. But that's incredible, you think of all these people, okay, that's 2,000 years ago. It's still happening,
And it wasn't from Bedouins out there. They were a well-to-do family, His father owned a newspaper.
Yeah, he was probably born in a hospital.
Yeah.
I don't think I was, because there's no hospitals. I was checking my birth area, in Tennessee. Like the city I was born in. It's a very small city that there's no hospitals. It's all suburbs and shit.
Born in some hospital. I can't tell you which one.
Okay.
But,
anyway, 928.
You should know. Have you ever asked her what the hospital was?
I don't know.
Ask her next time.
Unless refrain from saying names. So
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. 928, Louis the Blind, King of Provence, birth unknown. 1118, Robert de Beaumont, first Earl of Leicester, was a Norman nobleman and politician, birth 1049. 1296, Edmund Crouchback. Crouchback.
I got it.
English politician who was a Lord Warden of the Cinque Ports, born in 1245. 1310, Amalric, Prince of Tyre, birth unknown. 1400, Frederick I, Duke of Brunswick-Luneburg, birth unknown. That reminds me, I know somebody who had, some weird nightmare where he ended up in New Brunswick and, all the currency was little dumbbells. It was a weird dream, It's how am I gonna, use a phone here?
Inside joke. Move on.
1445, Leonard Power was an English composer, birth unknown. 1740, Henry Grey, 1st Duke of Kent, was an English politician and courtier, birth 1671. 1910, O. Henry. No, the candy bar?
That's what I was going to say. I wonder.
U.S. short story writer, born in 1862. What's his actual name? O. Henry.
I doubt if that's where it comes from, though.
William Sidney Porter. Okay. So
how do they get O out of it?
That's a stage name. O. Henry.
Okay.
William hold on a second. Oops, wrong button. Copy. No, I do not want Gilded. Go away, Gilded. Okay, there we go. Here we go. William, AKA O. Henry. Yeah. What's his face? Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah.
I don't think that's his real name.
Oh, really?
I think that's a whole stage name. Edgar Allan Poe.
Well, writers did use different names.
Or that was his actual name, but I think he used a stage name for something else. Or there was somebody, I don't remember who it was, but somebody's very commonly known name that's not their actual name. And there's a lot of people who use stage names and stuff, especially in entertainment and everything. But no, I mean what's her face? Mary Shelley, who wrote Frankenstein.
Oh, okay.
Had to use a fake name just to get published because they'd see, a woman writer, throw it in the trash.
Well, yeah, that English woman did a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because she couldn't have gotten anything published being a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
1916, Herbert Kitchener, 1st Earl Kitchener, was an Irish-born British field marshal and politician who is a Secretary of State for War, born in 1850. Here we go, 1921, Will Crooks, English trade unionist and politician. Can't think of a better name for those positions.
Wow,
you know?
I hope you go to politics and keep your name.
I know. Well, you know,
I'm not a crook.
Well, maybe he was actually honest. Like, I will be robbing you, but hey, what politician is telling the truth? Like, maybe that was his shtick. He actually told the truth. I will crook you.
Conway Twitty. Wow, that's a singer.
Yeah. This guy was born in 1852. 1993, Conway Twitty died on the States. He was a U.S. singer, songwriter, and guitarist. Was born in 1933. And I know that name thanks to Family Guy. Like, they brought him in a couple times.
Oh, yeah?
And stuff like, we now switch to Conway Twitty. And then it's just like, 30 seconds of him just singing or something. Random. Old Family Guy was good. Anyway, 2003, we have Jürgen Hollemann, was a German soldier and politician who is the 10th Vice Chancellor of Germany. Was born in 1945. Last but not least, 2004, Ronald Reagan. Oops, where'd it go? Oh, crap, I got rid of the thing. I had set up on YouTube, Ronald Reagan, the actor? And I totally botched it. I screwed it up. History, where'd it go? Here it is. Come on. Oh, come on, YouTube. Screw it. Yeah, well, I had it set up, and I screwed it up. Anyway, that concludes the show. Once again, you can check the underbar description for any links that you may be interested in, which also includes Sohen TV on Twitch. Go check him out. Go check Muffin's YouTube out. He's going to have a new video here soon. As I said, he's out in Italy, so he's taking vacation videos and everything. And everything Omni Coalition. For your dose of passive events daily, we stream every day at 10 in the morning Pacific time, which is noon Central. For all of you and all of us, I am Ao Xander. I am joined by Golden Loon. And you are you. And until you see us tomorrow, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Until then, toodles. Let's go, Brandon.